There are people who, from the moment they enter your life, change everything forever. For Manchester City, Pep Guardiola is that person. He arrived and transformed the Etihad from a stop for unfulfilled ambitions into a proud fortress of world football. But now, as Man City teeters on the brink of a failed season, people are starting to wonder if Pep is still the chosen one. Each recent defeat is like a deep scratch on Pep's image, not only on his skin but also in the hearts of those who once admired him. These scratches don't lie. They are marks of pressure, of the struggle for a man who was once invincible. But is this the end, or simply a pause in the symphony that Pep is still playing? Man City fans, before rushing to judgment, pause for a moment. Don't let disappointment overshadow what he has brought. Before Pep Guardiola, who was Man City? A team associated with instability and apprehensive glances from fans. A club with strong financial resources, but whose achievements were limited to domestic competitions, lacking identity and stature on the international stage. While predecessors like Roberto Mancini and Manuel Pellegrini brought a few memorable moments, including the first Premier League title in 2012. These were merely flickers in the club's history, not enough to transform Manchester City into a true powerhouse. But when Pep Guardiola arrived in 2016, he wasn't just a coach with a glittering track record from Barcelona and Bayern Munich. He was a football philosopher, a revolutionary, unafraid to overturn old limitations to build a completely new empire. After just one season of adaptation, Pep transformed Man City into an unprecedented winning machine. In the 2017 to 2018 season, his team broke the all-time Premier League record with 100 points. The football Pep brought wasn't just effective, it was beautiful, exquisitely mesmerizing, dreamlike passes, seamless combinations, and suffocating pressing. All were molded by Pep into a distinctive, sharp, and powerful evolved tiki-taka. Pep's peak at Man City didn't stop there. In the 2022 to 2023 season, he led the team to absolute heights with a historic treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the first Champions League title in their history. If Manchester United was once proud of its treble in 1999, now Man City has the right to stand shoulder to shoulder, even surpass them. With absolute dominance throughout the season, Pep not only changed Man City's history, but also wrote new pages in the history of English football. But Pep's success isn't just measured in trophies. He shaped a completely new football culture at Man City. The philosophy of ball control and high pressing is not just a tactic but a spirit. Pep demands perfection in every detail, from passing and movement to how players think during the game. He doesn't hesitate to criticize Kevin De Bruyne, or even replace big stars like Joe Hart and Sergio Aguero when they no longer fit the system. Thanks to Pep, Man City is no longer a collection of outstanding individuals, but a cohesive, unbreakable unit. Young talents like Phil Foden and even established stars like Erling Haaland have reached their peak under him. Kevin De Bruyne, from a talented midfielder, has become one of the best players in the world. Ruben Dias is not only a steel shield in defense, but also the spiritual leader of the team. And Erling Haaland, the goal-scoring machine, has been honed by Pep to become more complete in his play. And that's why, even though Man City is struggling, people still have to ask, should we be tired of someone who has changed the destiny of the entire team? It's not an easy question to answer. But surely Pep's legacy at the Etihad is undeniable. When an empire stands at the top for too long, even the slightest slip becomes a topic of controversy. Man City was once invincible, but now the team is experiencing its most precarious days in nearly a decade. The numbers don't lie. Only one win in their last 11 matches across all competitions and a record 4 consecutive Premier League defeats. Something unprecedented in Pep's career. Defense, once one of Man City's strongest foundations, is now their biggest weakness, conceding an average of 1.69 goals per game, the highest in Pep's era. What is the cause? Tactical errors? An aging squad? Or the pressure from the very aura that Pep created? What happened before and after the Manchester Derby is clear evidence. From leading Feyenoord 3-0, Man City allowed their opponents to equalize 3-3 in the final minutes. Something unimaginable for a team once praised for being perfect in every aspect. And in the Manchester Derby, After Josko Gvardiol's opening goal, everything went downhill. Mateus Nunes' mistake, a lack of concentration in defense, and Amad Diallo's sharpness turned 3 points into 0 in just the last 2 minutes. It's no longer the story of one game. It's a warning about the collapse of a system once considered the standard. The problem also lies in the current Man City squad, which is too reliant on a few individuals, especially Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. With De Bruyne's long-term absence due to injury, the team's creativity and organization have been almost stifled. And more importantly, Rodri is not Rodri, and without him in top form, Man City is not Man City. Players who were once stars, like Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva, are no longer at their peak. Yet Pep doesn't have enough backup options. The squad, once built with perfection in every detail, is now aging, lacking depth, and easily exploited. The pressure from past successes is also the biggest burden for Pep. A coach who has won 6 Premier League titles and countless other honors is now not allowed to fail. Any mistake is scrutinized 10 times over. Every time Man City doesn't win, the public asks, is Pep finished? But probably no one understands that pressure better than him. The long scratch on Pep's head after the loss to Manchester United is not only the result of moments of self-inflicted frustration, but also a symbol of extreme stress. His bitter confession in the press conference, "I'm not good enough. I have to find solutions, but I haven't yet," made many fans heartbroken. Looking at Pep in those moments, people see not just a coach struggling with his team's form, but also a man collapsing under the pressure he himself created. From a tactical genius, Pep now resembles a weary warrior. But should the fans really turn their backs on him? Or should they stand by his side to help Pep and the team overcome this difficult period? These questions are not only for Man City fans, but also for everyone who has ever admired Pep Guardiola. A great man in football, but also fragile and vulnerable like everyone else. Football, after all, is not just about numbers or trophies, but a long-term journey full of emotions. Even the greatest coaches like Sir Alex Ferguson have gone through seemingly hopeless periods. His Manchester United went trophyless in the early years and also had precarious seasons while at their peak. But it was the belief of the fans that helped him build an immortal empire. So, Man City fans, pause for a moment, look back at everything Pep has brought, and ask yourselves whether we can demand more from a man who has done so much for this club. The City Football Group, who understand Pep better than anyone, still have full faith in him. They aren't rushing to judgment but are willing to invest over £200 million in the January transfer window to help him rebuild the squad. This is not a coincidence but a belief in a coach who has proven his worth through every match, every moment on the touchline. And Pep, amidst all the pressure and disappointment, remains steadfast. "I don't give up. If they want me to go, they have to push me out. I'm not leaving here." These are not the words of a defeated man, but of a true champion, one willing to fight to the end to bring his team back to the top. So, if Pep leaves now, what will become of Man City? They might bring in another coach, even a talented one, but will anyone have the patience and vision to continue the legacy Pep has built over nearly a decade? Pep's style of football isn't something that can be replicated instantly. It requires time, dedication, and absolute faith from both the management and the fans. A sudden change could push Man City into a long period of instability, where they lose not only wins but also their identity. What has made them different over the years? Failure, however painful, is always an integral part of success. Man City may be in crisis now, but what Pep Guardiola has done for this club cannot be overshadowed by a bad run of form. Look back at the legacy Pep has left: historic titles, shining moments, and above all, a footballing identity that few teams in the world can match. This crisis, though worrying, is just a small chapter in the long novel of Pep and Man City. He is still the one who wrote the most glorious pages. Man City fans, instead of criticizing, take a moment to remember the wonderful emotions Pep has brought. Have faith in him, because this is when he needs it most. Pep is not just a coach. He is someone who has loved, lived, and dedicated himself to this club. He himself said, "I'm here because I love football and I love Man City. I don't give up." So can we give up on him? The man who has brought all the best to this club? Don't be tired of Pep. Believe in him. And believe that the best days are yet to come.